Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. We gotta talk about all those big Spider-Man reveals, what's going to be happening in the next movie, the stuff they've confirmed, as well as Infinity War. So just careful for spoilers if you haven't seen the movie yet. This is going to be all about what's coming next. Hopefully you guys have had a chance to see the movie. If you haven't, there's still a Spider-Man ticket giveaway that I'm doing. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber, leave a comment on this video. So there are a couple key setups for the sequel and a couple of implied things. Let's just start with the biggest thing first. There's like 7-10 things on my list here. So the Sinister Six, they're very clearly teasing that with the Scorpion post-credits scene. So far we have the Bokeem Woodbine Shocker, the Scorpion Mac Gargan, and the Vulture. So they're going with a slightly different roster. We don't know where Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, the Shocker, the other members of the classic Sinister Six are in this universe. The original roster was Vulture, Electro, Kraven the Hunter, the original Mysterio, and Sandman. So there are a couple characters on that list that we've never seen before. Sony has talked about wanting to do a Mysterio spin-off film at some point. They're doing that Black Cat, Silver Sable, Venom movie right now, so I think it just depends on how successful those are. But in the spirit of Kevin Feige doing different things than they've done in previous Spider-Man films, I think that the first characters they would make a beeline for to introduce in that sequel as part of the Sinister Six would be Kraven the Hunter and Mysterio. And the thing about the original version of Mysterio is that he was a special effects wizard that just made things look like magic. So it works perfectly for Hollywood because it's all about big special effects. But because that's an awful lot of characters to tease out in a 2.5-hour movie, they might just introduce a couple of new characters and then have the Sinister Six team up at the very end of that movie for whatever third movie that Marvel and Sony end up making when they re-sign their sharing arrangement. There's still a few really big things behind the scenes that are dictating how things go in the Spider-Man universe. Tom Holland wants to play him for 10 years, but it just depends on what Sony wants to do and what Marvel wants to do and how they continue to share the character in the MCU. So for the most part, Kevin Feige, the powers that be, have said that there's not going to be anything that's going to change going forward, so they'll reach some sort of new financial deal, and they'll be able to do Sinister Six, they'll be able to do all the classic characters like Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, they'll just get to it eventually. But for the most part, the Sinister Six of the MCU will be born from the weapons the Vulture was selling. So there was all kinds of Easter eggs in the background. They were building weapons for 8 years. So it makes sense that Scorpion, Mysterio, these other characters got their weapons from the Vulture at some point. There's still that black market trade that's going on. They weren't the only shop in town. They were just one of the big ones in the New York area. Just because Vulture is in prison doesn't mean that people are going to stop trading in illegal alien weapons. And remember, Thanos and his Black Order are coming to Earth, so there's just like a whole new wave of alien tech and destruction that's going to rain down. So it just means more stuff for the black market trade to take advantage of. But the new suit at the end of the movie, big teaser, right, is basically the Iron Spider. It looks a lot like all new, all different, just like slightly brighter, shinier. The color scheme is a little bit weird. It looks more metallic, more armored, like a classic Iron Man suit. For the most part, if we do see him in that, I think that's going to be specific to the Avengers films, and when he's in his own Spider-Man films, he'll just be wearing the classic-looking version of the suit and continue to unlock features and learn how to use them better with the help of Suit Lady Karen, Jennifer Connelly, the wife of Jarvis. She was one of the best parts of the movie. Oh, Karen, thanks so much. It's so good to have someone to talk to. One of the biggest laughs in the theater was when he did the big monument save and he was hanging upside down and Liz Allen was sitting there and Karen said, "Now's your moment, Peter, kiss her," before they pull the rug out from under him and he falls down the shaft. Mostly meant to be a joke on the kiss in that first Spider-Man film, but you see how good they can use that AI for comedy, so they'll continue to do that quite a bit. And because Peter is actually going to get to meet Hulk and Thor for real, hey, it's great to finally meet you guys. I thought you'd be more handsome in person. And then later in the movie when they make fun of him, when Karen starts replaying the footage and you catch him impersonating them in the mirror with the fake hammer, there'll be follow-up moments like that because he's actually going to meet them during Infinity War, so it'll change his relationship with them. He'll just continue to have funny moments impersonating them and play-acting big scenes that they shared together during the really huge Avengers movies. The next big thing is that May WTF reaction at the end, so now that she knows, she'll just continue to flip out every time she sees something Spider-Man related on the news, but Peter's not going to stop being Spider-Man, so it'll change their relationship, but she's not going to start helping him out, but they might give her a badass moment where the Sinister Six characters find out where he lives, maybe she gets roped into some of their plot, but because she's not an old lady, she actually gets to stand up for herself and have some badass moment. So her knowing just implies that she'll become more involved whether she wants to or not, but she's not going to be like Ned, the guy in the chair. So Ned Leeds will continue to be the guy in the chair, just have funny moments with Peter. One of the other biggest laughs in my theater. But the other big thing is the Miles Morales tease. My nephew lives in this neighborhood. I don't want these weapons around here. So Donald Glover's Prowler character will continue to show up, but he's still pretty small time. He just wants to hold people up. I don't want to blast them back in time. So just because Peter is so young, Miles is super young. So if he doesn't appear, they'll just continue to tease him out. But he's so far away from the spider bite that if we ever see Ultimate Spider-Man Miles Morales in this universe, it'll be like 6, 7, 8 years down the road. It'll be a long ways away. But I know everyone's really talking about Oscorp and the big characters, so they sold the Avengers Tower. That would be the place to put Oscorp. Peter spends most of his time in Queens, and because he's in high school, that's why he's so local to there. They said that was a big thing, and showing Spider-Man in the suburbs, like how would he deal with that? That's why they have that funny Ferris Bueller sequence where he's running across the golf course, like there's literally nothing for him to swing across. But there was also a bit of a teaser for Zendaya's Michelle character at the end where she says, "Peter, where are you going?" Just kidding, I don't care. But then she looks up like, yeah, she totally cares where he's going. And there are a couple moments during the film where she makes jokes about not being a stalker because she keeps tabs on Peter every once in a while. So very clearly she's interested in him, and because she's teased as being this really smart person, we'll probably learn his identity, and they'll just continue to tease out chemistry between the two of them. They're not going to get super maudlin with it, but they'll just continue to push those characters together. She might wind up helping him out in some way, but I think they're trying to change Peter's relationship with his traditional love interest. So, Mary Jane was a traditional girlfriend for him. She was a model. She didn't really get to do that many cool things, so I think they're trying to change that with the new films. So it'll be fun to see how they deal with that. And they've also said, really like the last big thing, is that there'll be another Avenger in the movie like Iron Man was in this movie. They didn't say who was going to be, but it'll be a big A-list Avenger. So that could be one of the new Avengers because the next Spider-Man movie is dropping right after, minutes after Avengers 4, meaning that we'll have our Captain Marvel fully powered in this universe. We'll still have Ant-Man, we'll have the Hulk, we'll have Vision. Who knows what happens to Scarlet Witch during the Infinity War movies. But I think it'd be more realistic that they put a human character in the movie, and it'll either be Bruce Banner or it'll be Captain America, because I think those are Peter's heroes, his classic heroes. He was impersonating them in the mirror. And think about the way they used Iron Man. There was a little bit of comedy there. So like say they use Hulk, it'll be Bruce Banner for most of the film, but then they'll have the funny WTF moment where he fully hulks out and helps Spider-Man in a big jam. But like Iron Man in this film, he was barely in there. He makes him the suit, he helps him out a couple times, but really you follow Peter through the whole film. So whichever Avenger it ends up being, it'll be the same deal. And it just feels like because Peter is such a science bro in training, it would make sense that you put the other science bro from the Avengers in the movie. So Bruce Banner would be the first go-to. But let me know in the comments, which Avenger do you want them to put in the movie? And what's going to happen is they confirmed a really big Thor Ragnarok character. So I'm going to do a video for that next. It should post in a couple hours, but leave all your requests in the comments below. I will do Spider-Man Easter eggs in the next couple days too. But congratulations to the latest giveaway winner, Bagel Angels. Please private message me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact details. You can click here for my post-credits scene video, and you can click here for brand new Game of Thrones. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.